Let me ask you something. Have you ever hit a point in life where you thought, I should be happy, I have a job, a family, some stability, but for some reason, I feel stuck, maybe even unhappy? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Psychologists actually have a name for this dip in happiness, and it's so common across cultures that it shows up almost everywhere in the world. They call it the unhappiness hump. Here's the twist. It doesn't last forever. In fact, after the dip, happiness often comes back stronger than before. Today, we're diving deep into what this phenomenon really means, why it happens, and how you can use this knowledge to build more happiness no matter what stage of life you're in. Stick around, because this might completely change how you see your 40s, 50s, and even your 70s. The science behind midlife unhappiness. Let's start with the research. Economists and psychologists have studied life satisfaction across different ages, and the results are fascinating. When they graph happiness across the lifespan, what they see is a U-shaped curve. In our teens and 20s, happiness is relatively high. We're full of hope, chasing dreams, believing the future is wide open. Then, in our 40s and 50s, happiness tends to dip. This is the bottom of the unhappiness hump. But here's the surprising part. After this stage, happiness steadily rises again, often peaking in our 60s and 70s. Now, why the dip? Well, midlife often feels like you're juggling flaming swords. You're dealing with career pressures, raising children, paying mortgages, maybe even caring for aging parents, all while your own energy isn't what it used to be. It's also the time when reality collides with expectation. Remember your 20s when you thought, by 40 I'll have it all figured out. Well, 40 comes, and guess what? Nobody has it all figured out. That gap between expectation and reality can weigh heavily. But here's the encouraging news. Studies show this dip isn't permanent. It's temporary, which means if you're in it right now, there's hope on the other side. How aging changes our outlook. So why does happiness bounce back as we get older? The answer lies in how our brains and our priorities change with age. Psychologists call it the positivity effect. As we age, we naturally shift our focus toward positive experiences and away from the negative. It's like our brain's filter changes. Here's an example. A 45-year-old might stress over missing a promotion at work, replaying the disappointment in their head for weeks. But a 70-year-old, they're more likely to shrug and say, it's fine. At least I had a good lunch with my friend today. I once met a man in his late 60s who told me, when I was younger, I always thought happiness was about achieving something big, the house, the career, the recognition. Now, happiness is sitting outside in the evening breeze, watching my grandkids play. That's enough. This is what aging gives us. Perspective. We start to realize that the little things, peace, health, relationships, are actually the big things. And this perspective shift makes life lighter, not heavier. Real life stories that show the hump. Let's put this into a real life picture. Take John, a 45-year-old father of 3. He's climbing the corporate ladder, stuck in traffic every morning, bills piling up, barely any time for himself. He feels drained, like he's lost the spark he had in his 20s. That's the bottom of the unhappiness hump. Now, fast forward 20 years. John is 65, retired. His kids are grown, the mortgage is gone, and suddenly, his time is his again. He spends mornings gardening, afternoons laughing with old friends, evenings walking with his partner. Is everything perfect? No. But his outlook has shifted. He's not chasing anymore. He's living. And if you talk to people in that stage of life, you'll hear the same theme. I wish I hadn't stressed so much when I was younger. It wasn't worth it. Practical strategies to cultivate happiness at any age. Here's the exciting part. You don't have to wait until your 70s to experience this peace. There are ways to climb out of the unhappiness hump earlier. Let me share a few. 1. Practice gratitude, not in a vague way, but in writing. Every morning, jot down 3 specific things you're grateful for. Instead of, I'm grateful for my family, right? I'm grateful my daughter hugged me before school today. Details make it real, and science shows this trains your brain to notice positives. 2. Pursue meaning, not just success. Many midlife struggles come from chasing what looks good on paper instead of what feels good in the soul. Studies show that people who engage in meaningful activities, volunteering, creating art, mentoring others, report higher happiness levels. 3. Strengthen relationships. Harvard's longest study on happiness, running for over 80 years, came to one powerful conclusion. Strong relationships are the single biggest predictor of a happy life. Not money, not fame. Relationships. Invest in them. 4. Acceptance over perfection. Here's a secret. Happiness grows when you stop fighting reality. Aging, setbacks, failures, They're part of life. When you stop demanding perfection and start embracing the messy, happiness follows. A perspective shift. Here's a perspective that might change everything. Imagine happiness as seasons, not a straight line. Spring is youth, full of energy, excitement, growth. Summer is midlife, busy, hot, overwhelming. Autumn is later years, slower, colorful, deeply satisfying. And winter, that's reflection, quieter, but full of meaning. If you're in the heat of summer right now, feeling burned out, remember, autumn is coming, and it's often the most beautiful season of all. So here's the truth, the unhappiness hump isn't a sign that your best years are behind you. It's a reminder that life has chapters. The hardest pages are often followed by the most rewarding ones. But let me ask you, where are you on this curve? Are you just starting out, stuck in the middle, or already climbing back up? Share in the comments. I'd love to know your story. And if this video opened your eyes, subscribe, because every week, we dive into the science of life, mindset, and personal growth, and I don't want you to miss the next insight that could completely shift your perspective. Remember, happiness isn't gone, it's waiting for you, sometimes, just on the other side of the hump.